We're at Carriers World today in London with Total Telecom, and I'm here with George Wareing, Sales Director of CityFibre. George, can you start by telling us a bit more about CityFibre?
Yeah, sure, Rebecca. So at CityFibre, we're the largest alternative full fibre infrastructure builder in the UK, and we're currently embarked on a programme to build full fibre right to 5 million premises across the UK by 2025. So we'll have that infrastructure available to about 20% of the population.
Wow, okay. So today you've been talking about fibre at a roundtable, fibre access networks, and what's holding us back. So what came out of the roundtable? How can we prepare for the future?
Yeah, well, firstly, I'd say we had a really interesting group. So right from kind of global carriers through to the more regional ISPs, and I think everyone had a slightly different view of what that looked like. But there was a couple of things that I think everyone broadly agreed on. I think the first was that in order to make a differentiated infrastructure proposition in local access networks, you really need to come at that from an infrastructure investment perspective. So very difficult for an incumbent operator to do that. Very difficult for someone who has a kind of a telco or a short-term returns mindset. It really is something that long-term in sort of infrastructure investment underpins. And I think you've seen that already in the UK context with both ourselves, TalkTalk and InfraCap and people like that looking at investment. I think the other thing that came out, which is really interesting, was actually this idea of kind of a differentiated proposition. So we really wanted to try and get under the skin of what people wanted to see in that wholesale space that would allow them to offer a unique proposition to their end customers. And actually it became much less about sort of new features and sort of new technical wizardry, and a little bit more around just doing the simple, straightforward things really, really well. So frictionless interaction between organisations, really clear availability of services, good strong capacity so people aren't constrained by that over time, really good delivery, like on time most of the time, and as an industry I think generally that's not done very well, and a good and fair price point that allows the carrier and wholesale community to add their value-added services and still make a margin to their end customers. So I think really for me it was just a little bit of not necessarily trying to think of things too complex, actually just really simplifying that down and creating a platform for our wholesale channel and our carrier customers to leverage.
Okay, and this event actually, you're announcing an exciting announcement with Calyx, I believe. Can you tell us a bit more about this?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Calyx Partnership, and there's going to be some presentations on it here later on today as well. It's really an opportunity for us to partner with a vendor, so both from an equipment perspective and a software perspective, that has a very aligned ambition in operating a sort of a differentiated platform for the future. So we and Calyx have announced that we're going to be collaborating on a next generation GPON technology that will put both infrastructure into the network that will allow us to deliver 10 gig services as standard to the premise, but also a software layer across the top of that you can kind of think of as something like the equivalent of an app store. So customers can really look at ways of controlling, modifying and innovating on their network across our access platform in ways that they don't even know about yet. So that's the really exciting thing about this. It is a platform for the future, but I think actually it was a lot of analogies between that and what the panel were talking about, because again the whole point of the Calyx Partnership is offering simplicity and control to end customers so they can keep value in that chain to their end customers.
Well, I look forward to seeing the results of the project. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rebecca.